Hello, everybody. Thank you for stopping by. I'm Martini, your host. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. In the 90s, I started learning Japanese. The first thing I learned was how to read and write Japanese kanji. Then, after that, I started learning Japanese books. And in 2011, I took a plane to Canada, and from Canada, I went to Japan. I first arrived in Osaka. I stayed in Osaka for a few months, and then from there I moved to Okinawa, in a small island called Ishigaki, where I lived for 4 years. Then after that, I moved to Tokyo, well, near Tokyo, a place called Saitama, is Saitama Prefecture, specifically in a city called Urawa, which is the largest city in the Saitama Prefecture. I also lived there for 4 years. Then in 2011, uh, during the Fukushima meltdown in 2011, I had no choice but to leave Japan. I didn't want to leave, but the radiation levels were getting a little bit dangerous in the dangerous zone. So I didn't want to take any chances. So I bought a plane ticket and returned to my home country. Then, so that was in 2011. And as soon as I got back, I started applying for jobs. And well, I was lucky to land a job at a Japanese company, which accepted me as a Japanese translator without any experience. And I stayed at that company for about 2 years, and I learned a lot about the the industry. Like it was a um, plastic injection molding company, so I learned a lot about that. And then after that, I was able to land jobs in larger companies in the automotive industry like Honda and Mazda. I, it's being a Japanese translator is a very interesting job, which I enjoy a lot. My goal here is to help you learn Japanese, help you learn Japanese faster. Mm, to My job here is to simplify Japanese grammar concepts for you, mm, and just help you in general in all your Japanese learning needs. I'm the creator of the only Japanese verb conjugation system that actually makes sense. Mm, Also, I'm the creator of a Japanese learning app that you can use to learn Japanese. I think this is the best Japanese learning app, and you should take advantage of it. It will help you learn Japanese faster. Mm, You can see, let me show you a little bit about this Japanese learning tool that I've created for you. Uh, you can see it here on your screen. You can see it has three different buttons. One that says Romaji, the other one says Hiragana, and the other one says Kanji. So depending on your Japanese level, you would choose one or the other. For example, for Chinese people who may be learning Japanese, and maybe they don't know much Japanese, but they know kanji. So Chinese people would find it very, very helpful to use the kanji version. Also, if you know hiragana, if you already know hiragana, then you may choose the hiragana version. But if you don't know any of kanji or hiragana, then you would choose the Romaji version. So let's do a demonstration with the Romaji version. So once you have choose your version, then you would click on play. And then you will be presented with a little window like this, which is telling you that you are supposed to conjugate this verb, the verb saberu. Okay, so, and then it gives you the English translation underneath. So, saberu means to talk. And then, so what you do is you click on start, and then you are presented with a series of questions. For example, here, it says talked. So it's asking us to fill in the past form of the verb saberu, which is shabetta with a double T. Now it's asking us for the ing form of the verb saberu, which is shabette with a double T. Now it's asking us for the negative form, which would be shaberanai. And then it's asking for the polite form, which would be shaberimasu. After that, it's asking for the plain form, which would be shaberu, same as dictionary form. And after that is the imperative form. So it's like you talk. So then that would be shabere. And lastly, it's asking for the future form, will talk. So it's shabero. And then once you submit your answers, you get a resource panel giving you the sensei's answers, which is the correct answer, and then your answer, which is what you typed. And so in this, so then you check your answers and you compare them with the correct answers, and then you will know if you made a mistake. Then you will be able to see what kind of mistake you made. If you didn't make any mistakes, then you get 10 points for each correct answer. Let's try again, and let's try to make some mistakes to see what happens when we get the wrong answer. So in this case, we're asking to conjugate the verb to buy. The first is always the past. So the past of cow would be katta with a double T. Then katte for the ing form. Then kawanai for negative form. Kaimasu. Okay, well, let's say waimasu. We'll make a mistake on purpose. Then let's make another mistake. Kao, for example. Then kaimasu. Let's just make a mistake. I'm making mistakes on purpose just to show you what kind of feedback you get when you make a mistake. For example, the first one is katta, it's okay, so I get 10 points. Second one is katte, so it's correct, I get 10 points. Negative is kawanai, so no mistake there. And then on the polite form, in the polite form, I made a mistake on purpose. I was supposed to type in kaimasu, but I purposely made a mistake and I wrote waimasu. So here you can see the difference. And so you get minus 10 points. When we make a mistake, we get deducted 10 points. It's kind of like punishment. Then kau, the plain form, so I also made a mistake on purpose. I wrote kao, which is not correct. So I got 10 points deducted. And then on the imperative, I did write correct, so it's kae, which is the correct answer, so I got 10 points. And then lastly, in the future form, instead of writing kao, which was the correct answer, on purpose, I made a mistake and I wrote kaimas. So I got 10 points deducted. And so So in this round of questions, I only managed to get 10 points. And so that's the results panel. So the results panel is very helpful because you get feedback. If you make a mistake, you can see where you made your mistake. And so that's what it's like. And let's try another exercise. Okay, on levels 1 and levels 2, which are the beginner levels, then you get this wheel. It's a Japanese verb conjugation wheel. And so basically what you do is like, what you do is you just follow the instructions here. And in this case, it's asking you about this verb, sakebu, which means to scream. And it's asking you what it takes in its stative forms. And then, so in its stative forms, it takes, it's a mono verb, so it's this. So in its stative forms, it would take N. And then, yeah, so N was the correct answer, so I get 10 points. And let's do another exercise. So, okay, so that's one of the tools that I have created for you so that you can learn to speak Japanese faster. But I have another tool that is very, very helpful. It's also related with Japanese verb conjugation rules. This is an application here that will present you with the correct Japanese verb conjugation of any given verb. And this is very, very useful, a very, very, very useful tool that I encourage you to look at, and I encourage you to use it. It will help you a lot in your journey of learning Japanese. So that will, okay, so I wanted to introduce you to these two different tools that I've created for you. And well, another thing that I want to mention is that if you want to learn to speak Japanese fast in a matter of weeks or months, then I encourage you to master your Japanese verb conjugations. You should become very, very proficient in conjugating Japanese verbs. Japanese verbs have 7 forms, which is, you can see them in here. Like, for example, the first form is the ta form, which is the past. Then you have the te form, which is the ing form in English. Then you have the negative, which is the negative form. Then you have the noun master form. Then you have the plain form, the imperative form, and finally you have the future forms. And if you want to learn to speak Japanese fast, I encourage you to become proficient in all of these forms for any given verb. So I will finish the video here. And if you have any comments, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments. And stick around. I'm gonna be uploading more videos. So make sure to subscribe, leave your comments, and we'll see you in the next video. Enjoy.